Devin, my dad passed away this morning.
Wait, what? Are you serious?
Yeah, after 3 months of fighting like hell, he's gone. I really thought he'd pull through. I really did.
I'm sorry. Damn. Is your mom okay?
Not really. She's completely shattered. I have to be the one holding everything together now. It's going to be chaotic the next few days, just letting you know in advance.
Because of the funeral and all that?
Yeah, the wake, the funeral, organizing everything, you know how it is. It's a lot for my mom to carry alone, so I have to take the lead.
Oh, but is all of that really necessary? I heard a lot of people don't even do funerals anymore. They just cremate and move on.
Not in our case. My dad wasn't just anybody. He was a senior exec at his company, and a lot of people knew him and respected him. We owe it to him to do this right.
I don't know. I've always thought it's such a strange system, spending thousands just to say goodbye to someone who's already gone. One of my friends said her dad's funeral cost $300,000. That's just insane.
I don't think you have to spend that kind of money to make it meaningful, but I do believe in the value of having that final moment. It's not just about the money, it's about giving people a chance to grieve, to remember, and to say goodbye.
I still think it's a waste, but don't worry, I'm not expecting you to cover the costs or anything. I just think it's a waste of time, too. Every funeral I've been to, boring. Long-winded prayers, awkward speeches. It's all just filler. Who's it really for?
I'm not a theologian or anything, but I think those prayers and speeches matter to the people left behind. It's about showing respect. It's about closure, and as the family, we owe that to him.
But does it really matter when the person it's all there for isn't even there to hear it? It always feels like we're performing grief. I've just never understood why people gather around a coffin like that.
Maybe it's because you've never had to go through it with someone close to you.
You might be right. My dad died when I was just a kid, and my grandparents passed away before I was even born. So yeah, I haven't really done the whole grieving family thing.
Exactly. But just because you haven't felt that kind of loss doesn't mean others don't, and your opinion doesn't give you the right to minimize what this means to me. So I need you to keep the next 2 days open. Your suit's in the closet. Be at the chapel on time.
Wait, what?
You're coming to the wake and funeral, obviously.
Do I really have to go?
Are you actually asking me that?
I mean, it's your dad. I barely knew the guy. What's the point of me being there?
He was your father-in-law. That means something. It's not about how close you were. It's about respect.
Respect? He never did anything for me. I don't see why I need to stand around pretending like we were close.
You don't remember what he did for you?
You mean that job thing? If anything, he should have thanked me. I helped boost his reputation by joining that company. They were lucky to have me.
He gave us part of our down payment for the house, Devin. Don't tell me you forgot that too.
And in return, we gave him the image of a happy, successful son-in-law. That wasn't a gift, that was a mutually beneficial arrangement. If he hadn't chipped in, I wouldn't have wanted him in our lives at all.
Wow, so all this time and this is how you really felt?
Look, I was polite while he was alive, but now, honestly, it's a relief. One less person to tiptoe around. He was always judging, always hovering.
I can't believe I'm reading this. He was my father. You could have kept those thoughts to yourself.
Yeah, maybe I could have, but what's the point in lying now? To me, he was just a guy I had to tolerate because of you. Now that he's gone, I don't have to fake anything anymore.
So you're not going to show up? You're really going to let me bury my dad alone?
If I had a choice, I'd rather not go. I don't want to spend hours in a room full of strangers pretending to care. It's not my thing.
All right then.
Look, it's the weekend. Can't I just have some peace? You handle the family stuff and I'll stay out of the way. Seems like a fair deal.
You know what's funny, Devin? You talk about peace, but you've brought me nothing but grief these past few months. And now, at a time when I'm at my lowest, when I needed you to just show up and stand by me, you've shown me exactly how little you care. So thanks for that.
That's not fair.
No. What's not fair is me having to do everything alone, grieve alone, handle the logistics, support my mother, while you sit comfortably at home patting yourself on the back for being honest.
I never asked for any of this.
Neither did I, but here we are. I'll send you the obituary draft. Don't worry, I'll leave your name out of it. The funeral went smoothly. Thank you for taking the time to come. I'm sorry I couldn't properly greet you with everything going on. Come? I didn't attend, Kate. Wait, really? My mom said she saw you there. I just happened to walk by the venue. It's close to my house, after all. I looked in from outside to see what was going on, but that's all. If that's the case, you could have at least said hello. Even a short message would have meant a lot. Why would I do that? I wasn't close with your father. It's not like I was grieving or anything. Besides, if I walked in, people would have just stared at me like I owed a condolence envelope. Nobody would have done that. Even if you didn't bring anything, just showing support means something. It's not always about money. Well, that funeral was over the top. Honestly, it looked more like a concert for a washed-up country singer than a funeral. How much did it cost you? We haven't gotten the final invoice yet. The funeral home said they'll send it in the next week or so. Then how much did you collect in condolence money? I saw a ton of people walking in and out. I bet there were some big names too, since your dad was a corporate executive, right? That money must have piled up fast. We haven't had time to tally anything yet. Honestly, I've barely slept the last few days. But is this really why you're reaching out? Of course it is! Let's not beat around the bush. I'm talking about the inheritance. You're an only child, right? So naturally, you'll split it with your mom and that'll be it. Even if my father left behind an inheritance, I really don't see how that involves you or your son. Excuse me? Let me remind you, your father got my son into that company. If it weren't for that introduction, Devin wouldn't have landed such a sweet position. Don't you think it's time to pay that back? Funny, Devin said something almost identical the other day. Well, maybe because it's true. He's a senior executive at 40. That's impressive. At another company, he'd probably already be CEO by now. That's his achievement, and I'm proud of him. But my father had a long and respected career. If you saw how many people came to say goodbye, you'd know how deeply respected he was. Please, when you live long enough and know enough people, of course a crowd shows up. Wait until I pass. That little hall won't even come close to being enough for mine. You better book a bigger venue. That sounds like something you should discuss with your son. No, it'll be your responsibility. You're the daughter-in-law. You'll be expected to organize everything. Wait, let me make sure I understand. You're saying I should handle your funeral arrangements, even though your own son couldn't be bothered to show up for my father's? That's right. You're his wife, aren't you? Handling family obligations falls on you now. Devin said he didn't believe in spending money on someone after they're already gone. His words, not mine. There's no point in wasting thousands on a dead person. That won't apply to me. I expect a lavish send-off, with plenty of flowers and a crowd of mourners. I want people talking about it for weeks. All right, I'll pass that along to your son. Let's hope he's in a more generous mood by then. What's that supposed to mean? It means I'm still grieving. My father passed away less than a week ago. I've been dealing with the funeral, comforting my mom, handling legal paperwork, and now fielding questions about inheritance from you. So forgive me if I'm not exactly enthusiastic about planning another funeral right now. You're taking this very personally. I'm just looking out for my family. If there's money on the table, I think it's only fair we get a slice. After all, without your father's help, Devin wouldn't be where he is now. And Devin's had a great career because he worked hard. But don't act like my father handing over a business card 10 years ago means you're owed part of his estate. He didn't write you into his will. He didn't owe you anything. You don't know that until the will's read. I do know that. I'm the executor of the estate. I've seen it. And no, Judy, your name's not on it. Neither is Devin's. Unbelievable. After everything our family's done for yours, this is how we're treated? What exactly have you done for my family? We've supported Devin all these years. That should count for something. Your son made the decision to distance himself from my dad long before he got sick. You both did. You barely called. And now that he's gone, all of a sudden you want to show up and collect? Watch your tone, Kate. No, Judy. You watch your timing. You didn't even step inside the funeral home. You didn't offer your condolences in person. You peeked through the doors like a nosy neighbor and then asked me how much money came in. Don't be dramatic. I'm being honest. And since we're being honest, let me say this. If you're expecting a payout or some grand favor from me, it's not coming. So that's how it is now? You're cutting us off? I'm protecting what's left of my father's memory. You can argue about what's fair all you want, but you're not entitled to anything. And I won't let you twist this moment of grief into an opportunity for greed. My mom just contacted me. She said you and your mother went over to my family's house. Is that actually true?
Yeah, we went.
You didn't even come to my father's funeral. You didn't show your face. And now you think it's okay to barge into my mom's home to talk about his money? That's beyond insensitive. It's absolutely disgusting.
Why are you yelling at me? It wasn't even my idea. Mom told me to go with her, and I couldn't say no. You know how she gets.
And that gives you the right to push my mother? Do you even understand what you've done?
No one pushed anyone. It was just a heated exchange. My mom might have lightly nudged her. That's it. You're blowing this out of proportion.
My mom fell. She fractured her wrist. She's in the hospital right now, Devin. Explain to me how a light nudge ends with a broken bone.
People fall. It happens. She's old. Her bones are probably fragile anyway.
That is a horrible thing to say. You're seriously going to brush it off like that?
I didn't even want to go there. I told you, Mom was being persistent. She was freaking out over the inheritance and wanted to get clarity. She thought it was time.
And instead of being a decent son and telling her to wait or show some damn respect, you just followed her like a coward and stood there while she hurt my mother.
I wasn't trying to cause trouble, but come on, Kate. You've been avoiding this whole conversation. You haven't said a word about your dad's will since the funeral ended. What do you expect?
Do you think I've had a second to breathe? I lost my father, Devin. I had to plan the entire funeral, manage the guests, console my mother, deal with the estate, sort through old documents, and do you think I'm supposed to prioritize figuring out a will for your benefit?
It's not for me, it's for Mom. She's in a tight spot right now, and honestly, she needs some help.
Help with what?
She got a little carried away these last few years. Retirement's been boring for her, and I guess she started going to the casinos more than she should have. It got bad.
She's gambling?
Yeah, I didn't know how bad until recently. Turns out she's in some debt.
How much are we talking?
She won't tell me the full amount, but from what I can gather, it's probably in the low six figures, like A few $100,000 max.
You say that like it's not a serious number. That's an enormous amount of money.
I know, but your dad made a lot, right? He worked in finance, and you mentioned he made some solid investments. I'm just saying, if there's anything left behind, even a small portion could really help dig her out of this.
Wait. Let me get this straight. You and your mother, who both refused to come to my father's funeral, thought it was appropriate to go behind my back and try to claim a piece of his estate. And now you're here acting like it's just a casual favor?
That's not what I meant. It's just, it would be a relief. She's really struggling.
You know what's struggling? Losing your father and then having the people who are supposed to support you sneak into your grieving mother's home and demand money.
Mom wasn't demanding anything. She was trying to understand what the situation was. It's not like she brought a lawyer.
She didn't need a lawyer. She brought intimidation. And you enabled it. And
I didn't think it'd go that way. I didn't expect her to get physical.
yet you still haven't apologized.
What do you want me to say, Kate?
I want you to acknowledge that what you and your mother did was selfish and cruel. I want you to say that sneaking around my back and physically hurting my mom was completely out of line, and I want to know why you didn't stop her.
Because I didn't know it would escalate like that. I thought she just wanted to talk. She's my mother, Kate. I didn't want to fight her on it.
So instead, you let her pick a fight with my mom. You chose comfort over integrity. Again.
I'm sorry, I really am, but this whole thing's gotten out of hand. Can we please just sit down and figure out the inheritance already? This isn't good for either of our families.
There is no our families in this anymore. You made it clear which side you're on. You want to know about the inheritance? Here's what I know. My father worked his whole life to build something worth passing on. He did that for his family, for the people who respected him, loved him, and showed up when it counted. That doesn't include you or your mother.
Kate, come on, don't do this!
You already did this. You made your choice. If there's anything left of my father's estate, it'll go to the people he trusted. And just so we're clear, after what happened at my mom's house, you and your mother are no longer welcome there. If you need help, look somewhere else.
So what happened with the inheritance? Did you find anything out?
There's nothing. There's no inheritance.
What? You've got to be kidding me! That can't be right!
It's not a joke. My father donated everything. The only thing left was a small amount to help my mom get by. But as for me, I didn't inherit a cent.
I seriously can't believe this! That house your parents had was on a large lot! Prime real estate! If they sold it, it'd go for a huge sum! There had to be something!
My mom plans to keep living there. She's not selling. She's still grieving, Devin. That home is all she has left of him. You told me it wasn't that bad.
Damn it! This isn't good! My mom's debt is still hanging over us! It's hundreds of thousands! I was counting on your inheritance to help cover it!
And honestly, if it's in the hundreds of thousands, that's a big problem, but it's not insurmountable. You could work your way out of it. You're not even trying.
It's not just about my mom anymore. I made some purchases recently. I was counting on the money from your dad's estate to smooth things over.
What purchases? What are you talking about?
A new car, a few high-end watches, other stuff.
What? Why? We already have a car, and you've never even cared about watches. Not once in the 10 years I've known you.
A friend told me luxury watches are like investments now. Supply is limited, demand is high, prices only go up. Same with the car. It made sense at the time.
You're unbelievable. You gambled on status symbols based on some guy's advice and assumed my dead father's money would bail you out?
This all goes back to your father. He should have left something. Anything. Who gives away their whole estate to charity when their own daughter is struggling to keep the lights on?
He left something. Just not to people who only saw him as a bank account. And now I'm starting to think he was right to keep you out of it. Maybe he saw what I refused to see for years.
Whatever. I'll try to return the car. Even if I can't, I'm sure I can flip it for a decent price. But know this, things are gonna change around here. You're not off the hook just because you're upset.
What are you even saying?
From now on, your grocery budget is $200 a month. That's it. You'll figure out how to make it work. Minimal meals, no extra spending. You don't get a say in this.
That's insane. Prices are up everywhere. $200 won't even cover basics for the month. You expect me to feed us both on that?
Fine, then go back to your mom's place. See how long she lasts with you draining her food budget too.
Maybe I should, because this right here, what you're doing now, it's abuse. It's controlling. And I don't know how much longer I can do this.
You think leaving me will make anything better? You didn't get any money, you're unemployed, and you're gonna go live off your grieving mother? The woman who only has just enough to get by? Face it, the only decent thing you can do now is stay put, keep quiet, and help me manage this situation.
Then fine. If that's what you want, I'll do it. I'll do what you say.
Good, that's what I thought. Get ready for things to be different around here. Real different. Mom passed away last night. She was rushed to the hospital with a brain hemorrhage, but they couldn't save her. The wake is scheduled for tomorrow and the funeral will be held the day after.
I see.
I need you to handle the arrangements with the funeral home.
Why me?
Because that's what people do when someone dies. We hold a funeral. It's expected.
Is it though? Is it truly necessary to throw thousands of dollars at a ritual for someone I had no love or respect for?
What the hell are you even talking about? You're her daughter-in-law. That makes it your responsibility.
If I can show up, say a 10-second prayer, skip the greetings, and not give a condolence gift, then maybe I'll consider going.
What is wrong with you?
I'm simply quoting what you said to me when my father died, word for word.
You're seriously going to pull this petty revenge stunt now?
This isn't about revenge. When my dad passed, you told me I was selfish for wanting to hold a funeral. You said it was a waste of money, that nobody cared, and you refused to attend. Then, right after that, you cut the grocery budget down to $200 a month and acted like I was bleeding you dry. You called me a gold digger in front of your family and let them humiliate me. Did you honestly think I'd forget that?
So all this time, you stayed with me out of spite?
What else would it have been? You think it was love? Don't flatter yourself.
I can't believe this. You really stayed married to me just to get back at me?
Yes, and I've got to say, watching this all unravel is incredibly satisfying. Your mom passing is tragic, sure, but the fact that I don't have to fake sympathy anymore? That's a relief. She made my life miserable.
Unbelievable! My mother helped you in so many ways! You lived under our roof! She watched over you when you were sick!
Don't rewrite history. I was the one taking care of her when she'd randomly ask for thousands of dollars and cry poor even though she had savings stashed away. She never once helped me. She used me. And you let it happen.
You could have said no! That's on you!
Yeah, I could have, and maybe that was my mistake. I tolerated it because I thought maybe, just maybe, if I played the part long enough, you'd come around. But all I got in return was more control, more restrictions, more humiliation.
So what? Now you're just gonna abandon everything? What about Mom's debt? Who do you think is gonna take care of it?
You are.
Excuse me?
You're her son. It falls to you. Good luck with that.
Don't pull this crap. We're still married. That debt affects both of us. We'll have to tighten the budget. The grocery bill's getting cut again.
No, it won't, because I'm not living here anymore.
What?
I'm leaving you, Devin. I'm done. I'm filing for divorce.
You can't be serious.
I already submitted the paperwork 2 weeks ago.
What the hell are you talking about? We didn't agree on anything!
Remember when you shoved those divorce papers in my face 2 months ago during that screaming match in the kitchen? I held on to them, and when you walked away, I signed them and filed. I waited until now to tell you because I didn't want your mom using it as another excuse to drag me down before she went.
That doesn't count. That wasn't a legal agreement. You can't just file like that.
I can, and I did. And if you want to challenge it, we can go to court. I'll bring everything. The financial records, the texts, the recordings, all of it. Everything you've said and done in the last year, I'll lay it out on the stand. It's a public hearing, Devin. You okay with everyone knowing what kind of man you are?
You're bluffing.
Try me. Let's invite your relatives, the ones who laughed when your mom said I married you for money. Let's show them what really went on in this house.
You really want to ruin everything like this?
You ruined it. I just took notes.
So what now? You just walk away and leave me with everything? With the debt, the funeral, the fallout?
Yes, you get to deal with all of it. You wanted me out of the way for years. Now I am. You'll finally have your precious freedom. Enjoy it. Just don't expect anyone else to come pick up the pieces.
You're out of your mind. No woman would leave over something like this.
No, Devin. Only the women who wake up and realize they deserve better. Who realize they've wasted enough years on a man who sees them as a servant instead of a partner.
You're making a huge mistake!
No, the mistake was staying this long. I'm just finally correcting it.
I'll fight you on this. I'll make sure you regret it!
You already tried that. It didn't work. I'm not scared of you anymore. And if you try to pull anything else, I'll make sure the entire county knows who you really are.
The funeral was pretty underwhelming. Mom always said she wanted something grand, something people would remember, so I booked this large venue thinking there'd be a decent crowd. But only 5 people showed up. 5! Can you believe that? And yet the funeral home still charged me $2 million. $2 million! They tacked on every possible add-on, optional services, gift packages, keepsakes, you name it. They practically shoved it all at me like I was obligated to say yes. And now we've got boxes of return gifts sitting here untouched. Well, at least with that much stock, I won't be collapsing anytime soon from low blood sugar. Want me to send you some?
Can you just stop already? Seriously, it's exhausting. I don't want to hear it.
You didn't even come to the funeral. The least you could do is listen to what it was like.
And if you want to guilt trip me over that, be careful. That boomerang will come flying back and hit you right between the eyes.
I keep thinking about your dad's funeral. If I had gone to that, maybe things would have turned out differently between us. Maybe my life would have taken a different path.
Is that supposed to be a poem? Or are you just journaling your regrets now?
It really hit me, though. Nobody came to say goodbye to her. Every other funeral I've ever been to has been crowded, overflowing with people. But for my mom, empty chairs, cold silence. Even the staff at the funeral home looked uncomfortable. They say funerals reveal how someone lived their life. That stuck with me. And after the service, the only messages I got were from people asking for money, demanding loan repayments she never told me about. Maybe I really am a piece of trash, just like people used to whisper.
I'm not going to comfort you, so if that's what you're fishing for, move on. Are you done venting?
I get it now, what you went through when your dad passed. I didn't understand it then, but I do now. We've both been hurt, Kate. Maybe it's time we stop pretending we're enemies and just lean on each other again. Why don't you come home?
Don't say creepy things like that. Seriously.
The door's unlocked if you change your mind. The place is a mess, but there's still room to walk.
You don't need to keep messaging me.
I'm gonna text you again tomorrow. I've gotta head to City Hall. You should come with me.
Absolutely not.
I feel like I'm drowning in debt over here. Why the hell am I stuck paying off the debt of some old hag who's not even around anymore? Food costs an arm and a leg, and I don't even know how to cook rice properly.
Can you please stop sending me these depressing updates? I'm not your emotional support system anymore, and stop trying to guilt trip our son into coming back and helping you. He's working hard overseas, building a life for himself. The fact that you think it's okay to tell him to drop everything and come take care of you is just selfish.
What, a son helping his father is selfish now? I'm dealing with all the mess Mom left behind, paying off her loans one by one. Doesn't that count for something?
Let me ask you something. Did you even consider waiving the inheritance?
Waive it? What are you talking about?
You know you can refuse an inheritance, right? You can legally decline both the assets and the debts. Most people don't when there's money involved, but when it's just debt, it's absolutely an option.
Wait, you're saying I could have just walked away from all of this?
More like you could have, but there's a time limit. You only have 3 months after someone passes to officially reject the inheritance.
3 months? That deadline's already long gone!
Exactly. So there's nothing you can do now. It's legally binding. You're stuck with it.
You knew about this? You knew and just didn't tell me?
Yes, I knew.
Why the hell didn't you say anything?
Because I don't owe you anything anymore. It wasn't my responsibility to save you from your own poor decisions.
Do you have any idea what I went through trying to manage that funeral? The funeral home took advantage of me, charging for every little thing. And don't get me started on the paperwork at the city office. I could barely understand what they were saying. My head was about to explode from all the stress.
That's not unique to you, Devin. Every family goes through some version of that after someone dies. You're not special just because you struggled with basic responsibilities.
How can people cause so much trouble even after they die? It's like they never stop being a burden.
That's such a sad way to look at family. You're supposed to carry those burdens without seeing them as a chore. That's what being family means. That's what love means.
Well, maybe I'm just not cut out for that. Maybe that's why everyone ends up leaving me.
Finally, you're starting to understand.
I know you're not staying at your mom's place. I've been over there. She told me you haven't been around.
She also told me you keep showing up uninvited every few days. She said it's gotten to the point where she dreads hearing the doorbell. Please stop bothering her. She's not your sounding board.
She's literally the only person around here I can talk to!
We are no longer family. That means you don't get to burden my family either. If you were going over there to learn how to cook rice, fine. But showing up to dump your financial problems on her? That's pathetic. She didn't even file charges when your mother shoved her and broke her arm. She let it go because we were still technically family at the time. You don't get to abuse that kindness anymore.
Then who am I supposed to turn to?
Not my problem. This is the life you built for yourself with the choices you made. Start owning that.
You make it sound like you're so much better off! You're alone too, aren't you?
Actually, no. I'm doing quite well here in Japan with our son. We're living together and we're happy.
Wait, you're in Japan?
Yes, there was this neighbor who made amazing Japanese food, and I thought I'd give Japan itself a try after eating their food so much. One thing led to another, and I ended up staying here. The people here have been incredibly welcoming. I finally feel like I found a place where I belong.
You don't even speak Japanese, though!
I didn't at first, but I'm learning. It turns out you can pick things up pretty quickly when you're not constantly being torn down. I can handle grocery shopping by myself now, and the locals even call me by name. They're genuinely kind to me. It's more than I can say for the years I spent with you.
I'll come too! I speak better Japanese than you anyway!
Japan may not be large, but there are a ton of people here, Devin. Good luck finding me. But I sure as hell won't be helping you with that. Even after the divorce was finalized and I had made it abundantly clear that there was no going back, my ex-husband continued to show up at my mother's house like a stray cat that couldn't accept being turned away. At first, she tried to be civil with him. My mother has always been a kind and patient soul. The sort of person who believes in second chances, even when they're undeserved. But even her patience has limits. He just wouldn't stop. Again and again, he came to her door uninvited, often with wilted excuses and a ridiculous mix of arrogance and desperation. It was pitiful, really. Eventually, after one too many unannounced visits and one too many emotional manipulations, my mother, my sweet, soft-spoken mother, lost her temper for the first time in years. She told him to leave and never come back. When he refused, she did the unthinkable. She called the police on him. That was the final straw. Since then, he hasn't been able to approach the house. Not because he finally realized how much damage he'd caused, but because the law now prevents him from doing so. And honestly, that's probably the only thing that could have gotten him to stop. After that, I started to hear little updates about his life here and there, usually through mutual acquaintances or in his occasional bizarre attempts to message me. Apparently, he's had to learn everything from scratch, even something as basic as cooking eggs. He looked it up online, followed some blog instructions, and managed to figure it out, barely. But other things, not so much. He once sent me a long-winded message complaining about how his stir-fried vegetables turned out soggy and disgusting. Turned out, he didn't even know the difference between cabbage and lettuce and thought they were interchangeable. That's what happens when you go through life expecting someone else to clean up after you. But instead of learning and growing from the experience, he's chosen to wrap himself in denial. His pride is so fragile, so inflated, that he couldn't bring himself to tell his coworkers about the divorce. He still puts on pathetic little performances for them. I heard from someone who works at his office that he once told his colleagues he had to leave early because it was his wedding anniversary. Wedding anniversary. After everything, that's the level of denial we're dealing with. It gets even sadder. He bought himself a fancy wristwatch and a luxury car not long after our divorce. Why? Because he was banking on an inheritance he thought he was entitled to. One that, needless to say, never came. In the end, he had to sell both at a loss. Desperate, flailing. But even that wasn't enough to get him out of the mess he'd created. He now pays $1,500 every month to cover his debts. It's just enough to stay afloat, but he's always teetering. Retirement savings? Completely out of the question. Meanwhile, I didn't get a single yen in inheritance. And you know what? I'm perfectly fine with that, because what I did receive, what no amount of money could buy, was time, freedom, and peace. The quiet joy of living without manipulation, without walking on eggshells. That's my treasure now. And him, the last message I ever received from him was a text notification that read, "Burned the fish again." That was it. No context, no apology, no point. Just another mundane complaint, tossed out into the world like it was my job to sympathize with his incompetence. I looked at the message, and then I blocked him. I didn't even hesitate. There was nothing left to say. His complaints, his presence, they didn't belong in my life anymore. They didn't belong in this beautiful city, in this new chapter I was building. He didn't fit anymore. Today, I'm planning to go out and buy some fresh fish. I'll make simmered fish for my son, just like my father used to make for me when I was a little girl. That flavor has stuck with me, and I want to pass that warmth on to my child. My father, the only real man who ever stood by me, did something quietly extraordinary before he passed. He left his inheritance solely to me, not to my ex-husband. Not to my ex-husband, not to any extended family, just me. He never said a word about it while he was alive, not even to my husband. Somehow, he always knew how things would turn out. That legacy wasn't measured in cash. It was love, trust, and protection. It was a father making sure that his daughter would be okay, even when the world turned upside down. Now that I have my freedom back, I want to see more of the world with my son. We've already started saving. And there's a map on the wall where we've started pinning the places we want to visit. Greece, Morocco, Germany, New Zealand. We add new pins every month. And someday, I hope I'll be able to look up at the sky and say, "Dad, we did it. We saw the world, we lived, and we're free." And I know he'll be smiling down from heaven, proud of the life we've built without my ex being a part of it. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.